This is CHRO Global Radio in partnership with Timber Media, Podcasters for India Inc.
Things change, people change, but some changes are bigger than others. Hey everyone, and welcome back to CHRO Global Radio. Ahalya here, keeping you company, and today we're discussing a significant change in our profession, the evolution of the CHRO into a business strategist. Because Chief Human Resources Officers are not just leading people teams. In today's day and age, they're actively contributing to growth, transformation, and enterprise value. For a long time, the C-suite felt pretty established, right? CEO, CFO, COO, and maybe even a CMO. HR was seen as an essential support function, the guardians of compliance and organizers of company events. We've all probably had a family friend or two in HR who recommended life-changing books that were your introduction to nonfiction or self-help. 7 Habits by Stephen Covey or The Goal by Eliyahu Goldratt. But that has changed. Talent isn't just HR's concern anymore. It's a key competitive factor. Companies recognize that even the best strategy won't succeed without the right people in the right roles. The Chief Human Resources Officer has now stepped into a more central position, not just as a people leader, but as an important pillar of business success. Think of this shift as a strategic one, from admin to architect. For a long time, the HR function was deemed necessary, but was definitely undervalued, I think it's safe to say. HR departments managed processes, ensured compliance, and handled employee relations, often seen as the corporate equivalent of traffic control, keeping things orderly. Our strategic input was often limited to workforce projections. However, several significant shifts impacted the corporate world, prompting a re-evaluation. Digital transformation demanded rapid skill acquisition. Talent markets became highly competitive. Geopolitical instability made talent mobility complex. Leaders began to acknowledge that their most important assets weren't just on the balance sheet. They were the people. This led to a redefinition of HR's role. The C-suite needed the CHRO to be more than a people manager. They needed a people strategist, someone who understood how human capital influenced revenue, innovation, and market share. So, how exactly are CHROs going beyond traditional responsibilities and actively contributing to growth, transformation, and enterprise value? It's about fundamentally reshaping the organization. Easy stuff, no? First, they treat talent as a strategic asset. This involves moving beyond basic recruitment to sophisticated workforce planning that anticipates future skill needs. It includes building internal talent marketplaces, mapping key capabilities, and ensuring the organization has the human capacity to execute growth strategies. They're not just filling vacancies, they're shaping the future workforce. Second, CHROs leverage culture as a competitive advantage. They understand that culture is how the organization operates. They strategically shape cultures for agility, innovation, and resilience. They manage culture integration during mergers and acquisitions, recognizing that people issues can hinder successful deals. They work to build environments where employees feel engaged and contribute effectively. Third, they utilize HR analytics for data-driven insights. Now, this is something we have spoken about a lot. But the modern CHRO uses data models to inform significant business decisions, where to invest in new markets, how to reduce employee turnover in key roles, and the return on investment in leadership development. They communicate in business terms, supported by data demonstrating that people insights are as valuable as financial data. When the CFO asks about headcount, the CHRO provides insights on human capital productivity. And finally, CHROs design organizational structure and agility. They continuously evaluate and reshape organizational structures to reduce inefficiencies, foster cross-functional collaboration, and increase speed to market. They work to ensure the company is adaptable and champion the human aspects of ESG and organizational purpose, understanding that a strong ethical foundation helps attract and retain talent. With all of these new demands from the workplace, the modern CHRO really needs to shift the way they work. So what would be in their toolkit? And what kind of CHRO is effective in this role? Well, it requires more than just people skills. The modern CHRO uses a specific set of tools and capabilities: financial acumen, understanding profit and loss statements, balance sheets, and how human capital affects shareholder value. They possess strong business literacy, speaking the language of various departments like product, sales, and operations. Technological understanding is important. From HR systems to AI in talent acquisition, they understand the digital tools that support strategic HR, and they build influence and executive presence, enabling them to discuss complex human capital issues with C-suite peers. They're active collaborators. And you know what's interesting is that the evolution of the Chief Human Resources Officer reflects a growing recognition that human capital is a key differentiator in today's economy. These leaders are actively involved in shaping the company's future, contributing to its growth, and enhancing its enterprise value. It is a challenging, dynamic, and strategic role. Fun stuff, but you have to be up for the challenge. That wraps up today's discussion on the role of the CHRO as a business strategist. The business environment demands more from HR, and HR leaders are adapting. It's a cool shift to see. Thank you for joining me on SHRM Global Radio. Until next time, this is me, Ahalya, signing off. But hey, keep innovating, learning, and leading.
This is SHRM Global Radio in partnership with Timber Media, Podcasters for India, Inc.